Introspection, written by Thinky Think. Rainbow Dash stared out at the setting sun. A small smile danced across her face as she shifted on her cloud, letting her hindquarters sink into it ever so slightly. The cool moisture clung to her skin, working its way through the insulating coat of fur all Pegasi had. She would have to do some extra preening before bed, but she didn't care, because right now, up here in the clouds, she was watching the sunset after a nice workout, not preparing for bed. It was nice, really nice. She didn't often do this, always rushing around, being the most awesome and cool mare in Ponyville. But every now and then, she just kicked back and relaxed, let everything catch up to her and calm her down, let her come to grips with everything. Things have been pretty hectic in the past few days, even given all the things that had happened in her life. Twilight's coronation, the Everfree invading, giving up the elements. Rainbow's smile lessened somewhat, a melancholy working its way into her heart. Yeah, he'd really given up the elements of harmony. Who would have thunk? It was strange, really. For the past few years, those things had been a constant part of her life. Sometimes they were impossible to miss, the physical embodiment of loyalty hanging around her neck. Other times were more subtle, almost impossible to see. The way other ponies looked to them to lead, how complete stranger recognized them. But now it was gone. They were gone. The elements returned to the Tree of Harmony from whence they come. She felt just a little bit empty now, something that she hadn't even noticed before missing from her life. No, that wasn't right. It was more her soul. Yeah, that was a good way to describe it. Now that loyalty was back within the tree, working its magic over all of Equestria, a small part was missing from her soul. It unsettled her deeply, but she didn't know why. Ugh. Letting out a frustrated sigh, Dash rolled over onto her back, her withers sinking deeply into the cloud. She wasn't all that good at this introspective nonsense. That was egghead stuff, so uncool and lame that it was beneath her. But yet, here she was, thinking about even now. It was so frustrating. Her whole life, she'd been going through life with confidence, with assertion. Sure, there were times she'd falter a bit or hit a snag, but she'd always gotten right back and barreled on, overcoming the problem and asserting her coolness. Yet now, something that had grown within her was gone. Something that she hadn't even been consciously aware of. It was like she was suddenly questioning why she'd done everything. Why she'd followed Twilight in the Everfree all those years ago. Why did she stick with helping Fluttershy overcome her shyness? Why did she unhesitatingly help Applejack and her family keep the farm? Why did she sometimes model for Rarity even though she hated it? Why did she put up with Pinky's somewhat unreliable craziness? Why did she care for them all? Because they're my friends, she whispered to herself. A small part of her startled that she even needed to think that. They were her friends, and since they were her friends, why shouldn't she be loyal to them? Why shouldn't she put up with their flaws? But why should she? Pinkie Pie was funny and all, but she was just so random that she could be pretty lame at times. Fluttershy was such a scared introvert that it could get to be downright painful to be with her. Applejack just spent so much time working and was always so serious, and they got into such heated arguments for Celestia's sake. And Rarity, she was as stuck up as you could get, with all her frou-frou dresses and elite, high-class demeanor. Not to mention Twilight, the most uncool of all of them. She was an egghead who spent most of her days inside a library. Why should she care for them? Because they were kind, honest, funny, generous, and dependable. They'd been there for her during the Young Flyers competition. They'd given her their support when she needed it, and her them. But when did that start, and why? Did it even matter? Because they were friends now. They'd probably always would be. It didn't make perfect sense, and the whys and hows of everything were still kind of a mystery to her. But who cared? What mattered was that now they'd be there for each other, through thick and thin, rain and snow, day and night. They were friends, and that was all that mattered, really. A smile crossed Rainbow's lips, and she let out an amused snort. She really was an idiot. Egghead stuff just wasn't her thing. Really, who cared why they're friends, or why she'd done the things she had? She was Rainbow Dash, best flyer in Equestria, sole Pegasus capable of performing the sonic rainboom, and possessor of the 5 best friends any pony this side of the sun could ask for. Standing up from her cloud, Dash shook herself out, droplets of moisture sliding off her feathers and fur with ease. The sun had set already, and Luna's moon was high in the sky. Looks like it was time to call it a night. As she took off from her cloud, Rainbow couldn't help but notice that a little empty space inside her, while still there, was smaller, as if she filled it to an extent. A smile crossed her lips, and she did a few loops through the air as she flew, a delightful whoop of happiness filling her lungs as she headed home, ready to hit the sack. Hey everyone, Agent Fluffy here. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. If you want to support me even more, feel free to support my Patreon. The links are right here.